And the first of those is Breath of the Wild 2. So Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, Nintendo came out and delayed it. And they put out like a 3 or so minute video of, I forget his name, but the lead guy, one of the game directors, I think, for Zelda, came out and said, we're delaying it. I know we had originally promised that the game would, we're on track for 2022, but we're doing a delay and we're now shooting for spring 2023. And I think a lot of folks were disappointed in that. I know a lot of folks were dead set on this 2022 release date. And yeah, so moving out to spring 2023, I think that's a good move. And really, in almost all instances, a delay is not a bad thing. We can wait longer for this game. We've waited quite, already 5 years for this game. That's okay. And Breath of the Wild 2, the first Breath of the Wild took a while to make too. And that went through many delays as well. So I got to be honest, I'm not too surprised, but I'm also not like heartbroken or anything. Like take your time. Like that's an important game. And I don't think whether you like Breath of the Wild or not, I don't think you can take away from its importance in kind of how big that game is. It's huge. I mean, I pulled some numbers here. Breath of the Wild has sold approximately 25.8 million copies. And that is the highest selling Zelda game. For context, the next highest selling game is the Twilight Princess at 7.26 million. So this game was 3.5 times more sold than the next highest Zelda game. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. And then to compare it to all Switch games, it's the fourth best-selling Switch game behind Mario Kart, which is number 1, Animal Crossing, which is number 2, and Smash Bros. Ultimate at number 3. So that's pretty good. That's in some of these numbers, like Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, Smash, like these are just insane numbers. Like especially for Mario Kart 8, that's the Wii U game. Like it's wild, just absolutely wild. But Breath of the Wild is huge, and I have fond memories of this game. I played through it. I got it day one with my Switch, and it's one of the few games that totally encaptured me because I could not put it down. I remember spending my weekends, and luckily didn't really have much to do, and this was before I had my son, so I could do and get away with this. But I just remember just all day, like just playing Zelda, and I could not stop. And so few games capture me this way to where I can't stop playing. And even when I'm not playing, it's all I'm thinking about. It's like whatever I want to, what I want to do next, what am I going to tackle next? And I loved that game. It was so fun, and it's almost to the point where I don't think I ever want to play through it again because I just have such a fond and memorable experience with my first time playing it that I'm good. It's an amazing game. And I don't think you can understate its influence on other games. I mean, we see it even with Horizon Forbidden West, the parachute thing. I know Zelda's probably not the first game to kind of do this parachute mechanic, but it really popularized it. Horizon Forbidden West kind of took that. I think some of the climbing elements you see, and then you see a lot of other games copy that kind of opening iconic shot with Link kind of standing on the mountain overlooking kind of the entire open world. And you see quite a few other games mimic that imagery. And so this was a huge game and hugely influential game. So for me, like take your time, guys. You got a lot to live up to, doing a successor to this. And I'm good waiting. I can wait, especially with we've only been through the first quarter of 2022, and we've had so many games come out and high quality games come out. And I think arguably maybe 2 or 3 game of the year contenders, maybe 3, even 4 game of the year contenders already. And I saw someone point out on Twitter in response to this delay that now, with Breath of the Wild being delayed out of 2022, doesn't have to worry about competing with Elden Ring for game of the year. And, fair point. Again, I haven't played Elden Ring yet, but I plan on it. And so it's now got its wide open, and there's some hot competition this year, and we still have a lot of time left for other games to come out, especially in the holiday season. So Yeah, it's been a monster 2022 so far. So Breath of the Wild 2 delayed. I'm not super concerned about it. But the other thing that was interesting, they did show a couple of brief clips of game footage, most of which we'd seen, but the moment that everyone's kind of talking about is this shot where Link kind of pulls out the Master Sword and it's destroyed, or, just like half the Master Sword. And so it kind of begs the question, like, what's going on here? And I'm no Zelda lore purist or anything like that. I don't pretend to know everything, especially about the Breath of the Wild lore. It's been so long since I played it. I don't remember all of the details, but with this, I do think it's interesting. And, I don't really have like a solid theory or anything, but I'm curious if more time has passed. Because remember from really the prequel game, Age of Calamity, which I haven't played, and I know that's got quite a bit of story in there. I'm not a big Muso game enthusiast, so it doesn't really speak to me, though I would like to try it. But I know that was the prequel, and between that and I think Breath of the Wild is there. I can't remember the exact time. For some reason, 100 years stands out, but I know there was many years between that game because Link kind of went into this like cryo sleep at the beginning of Breath of the Wild. And so I'm curious if something like that between the end of Breath of the Wild and now Breath of the Wild 2, an extended time of period has passed, and now we see, because they talk about you're going to be exploring Hyrule, but you're also going to exploring places in the sky, because some of the shots they show, they've got kind of these islands, these floating islands that you can kind of go to. And so I'm curious on that perspective. And then with the Master Sword, being destroyed, maybe after the battle and so much time has passed that the sword kind of just decayed or something. I don't know. I really don't know. I did see someone point out, though, that Link's hand almost looks like Ganon's hand. And I thought that was really interesting. And like maybe Ganon's hand or Ganon's starting to consume Link or something like that. And I love that theory. Like I would love just a darker story for Breath of the Wild 2, to where Ganon's like slowly taking over Link, and maybe you're fighting against a clock to kind of stop this. I don't know. I have no idea, but it sounds awesome. And I love the idea of just a more like a dark Zelda game, especially in this, with Breath of the Wild, in the way it plays and all that stuff. Like I love it. I absolutely love it. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about the Master Sword. Let me know if you have any good theories out there. I'd love to hear them, because some people get super into that stuff and some are right. So I'm just kind of curious. Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for tuning into this clip from the Gamecite Chronicles podcast. You can tune in new episodes every week, Mondays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and leave a rating on your favorite podcast platform. And until next time, I'm Bonfire, and I will see you online.